And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and review for today's episode of Disney Plus's X-Men 97, Season 1, Episode 5. Buckle up. This episode was bonkers. I'm talking about crazy good. So if you have not seen this episode, spoilers. Okay. So we all know the X-Men are, still trying to recover from all the stuff that's happened to them. From Storm losing her powers, leaving the mansion, finding out that there's a Jean Grey clone, seeing her transform into some evil magical witch, to Scott's son, Nathan, getting mutant virus thanks to Mr. Sinister, even though in the comics it was Apocalypse who did it, but whatever. So, the X-Men are at a point right now where, like, if they get any more bad news, I think they're going to explode. So, they finally get some good news. They finally get invited to go to Genosha. Now, if you remember Genosha was basically the island that Magneto pretty much made a safe haven, if you will, for mutants to live in peace and harmony. So that way, the outside world who hates them don't bother them. They're on their own island. They mind their own business. They do their own thing. They're happy. So they got some people there who are like running it now, and they worship Magneto. They want Magneto to come see the, I guess, evolution of how Genosha's turning out. They got so many new mutants there. They got the Warlocks there now. You see Dazzler in the background. That was pretty cool. You just see a whole bunch of happy mutants just hanging out there. So Magneto, Gambit, and Rogue, they all go over there to, check it out, see what's going on. You got one of the UN council members there. She's like a part of this new council that they created with Sebastian Stan, and of course Emma Frost. So that's pretty cool. Members of the former Hellfire Club, and of course Madeline Price, who, aka Jean number 2, or the mother of Cable. So they're all hanging out. They're all happy. Magneto's like, this is pretty cool. But there's a catch. They actually want Magneto to, like, kind of be their leader there. And, like, they can use him. He's popular with the mutants. Obviously, they all love Magneto because what he was able to do. Also, what the X-Men was able to do for a lot of these mutants who are now, like, in this happy place. So Magneto's like, okay, I'll think about it. But there's also another catch. He needs a queen. They need him to get a queen so that way they can rule together. Maybe somebody from the X-Men to be his queen. So he picks Rogue. Apparently, Rogue and him hooked up back in the day when she was still learning her powers before she ended up with, the X-Men. So that was interesting. She was like, he's like the first person and the only really true person that she can physically touch. Because, remember, Rogue can't really physically touch anybody without draining their energy. And with his magnet powers protecting him, it works in his favor. So that's pretty interesting. That actually is something that can happen. So that's pretty cool. And then, things start to get, kind of dramatic in a way where you get to see this, I guess, kind of not love triangle, but the seeds planted for a triangle, because you see Gambit is just there, just like seeing the woman that he loved, the woman, even though he can't touch her, in his heart he knows he can always be, he has that special connection with Rogue. You just see him kind of get a little jealous. He's just trying to stay as calm as he can. As a Cajun that he is, he's just trying to stay cool and calm and collected. Unfortunately, Rogue tells him, hey, listen, I think I might stay here. I think I might be with Magneto. He's the only guy I can actually touch, even though I love you. Can't touch you. And, of course, being the cool, suave one that he is, Gambit's like, hey, listen, we don't need to touch each other to feel how we feel about each other. So that's poetry in motion right there. So I thought that was beautiful. And, you see in this episode, you see the dramatic stuff play out, and you're thinking, all right, maybe a good episode overall at the end of it. Seeing how it's an X-Men show or a superhero show, there's always something. When you get happiness, there's always tragedy in the wake. Nathan shows up out of nowhere, aka Cable. He shows up, he sees his mother, he's trying to warn her about something. Something terrible is about to happen. And here's the spoilers. A giant sentinel Godzilla looking thing shows up and starts wrecking Genosha, and like literally destroying to the point where it's wiping out the people there, wiping out mutants there who live there. Magneto and everybody are trying to save what they can, and it's basically a massacre. It's like watching the Battle of Hogwarts. If the Battle of Hogwarts was like more rated R, and we got to see more bloodshed and just see a lot of the, some of our favorite wizards just die. Basically, it was like that, but X-Men style. It was crazy. Obviously, the other X-Men are in the mansion because they had some kind of interview about about their lives. We find out Jean is getting upset the fact that Scott was cheating on her with the other Jean through his mind. So there was that issue. The first Jean, the normal Jean, she kisses Logan. Logan obviously is like, okay, this can't happen like this. Obviously, he's in pain, so we got to see that kind of emotion. A lot of emotions in this episode, so that was pretty interesting to see. He finally gets the kiss that he always wanted, but it wasn't like, oh yeah, she loves him. No, it was like kind of like a pity kiss in a way, because she wasn't sure of like should she love Scott or he's in love with the other Jean, which obviously the other Jean gave him his son, but his son's not there no more, so very confusing time. Back to Genosha. Everybody's getting wiped out. We see Nightcrawler. Oh, Nightcrawler was in this episode too. He was great. Nightcrawler gets injured. We see Magneto get injured. He gets, he's trying to fight this big Sentinel Godzilla looking thing. And the other Sentinels are showing up as well, wiping out mutants. Some of the Warlocks get injured. The leader of the Warlocks is I guess injured or dead. And then of course the big blow to us all. Gambit gets killed. Yep. Gambit gets stabbed before he blows up the giant mechanized Sentinel. He ends up dying as well. Rogue at the end of the episode holding him in her arms for the first time, be able to touch him without him feeling pain or anything because he's dead. And it just cuts right there. Beautiful ending, but dang, the way it ended with Gambit just dying, but using his whatever's left of his power to destroy that Sentinel was awesome. Now that since we saw Cable in this episode, he went back to his future because I guess his time ran out. So I would assume in next week's episode, I'm not really sure, we're gonna get this episode again in his point of view, but this time him saving everybody and either warning the X-Men who's at the mansion so they can go over there and save Rogue, Gambit, and Magneto, or we're gonna see him warn his mother before all that stuff happens a little bit earlier so he doesn't go back in time, back to his time point at that exact moment when everything goes to Kingdom Come Hell. So yeah, who knows what's gonna happen next week's episode, but this episode was great. A lot of emotions, like I said before. You have romantic emotions, you had tragedy in here as well. There was so much stuff in here that it was just a very, very good episode, especially since last week's episode I didn't really like so much because, the whole Mojo thing, and I thought, Mojo's fine, but, he's not exactly my favorite character, so I didn't want to see his same stick that he always does. So it was a nice departure from that to do some more dramatic X-Men stuff. And it's like, yeah, X-Men maybe, superheroes, awesome badasses, and, they have these powers and it's cool. But mostly their greatness about these characters is their emotions and their drama that they have through their. It's like one big soap opera with the X-Men stuff, and it always works, especially when you hit it on the nail. Yeah. Great episode. I enjoyed it. Who knows if we're gonna get Cable next week's episode to try to fix everything. There's even a moment in here that it looked like I saw the Watcher watching them in the sky. So what does that mean? No idea. There was something in this, like a silhouette in the sky. When you look at it, if you pause it just right, you see something in the sky. I don't know what it was. It could have been a lighting of what the Sentinels were coming or something else. I don't know. It just looked to me like could have been the Watcher. This universe is the Watcher, even though they say this is not canon to the MCU. But who knows? I thought that stuff was interesting, and it was just a very great episode. I enjoyed every moment of it, and I might go watch it again because it was great action, great dramatic stuff, and it was just brutal. And yeah, Nightcrawler was great too. I love seeing Nightcrawler pop up in anything. So yeah, go check it out. I highly recommend you checking this episode out because it's crazy. And if you have not seen this episode or you have not watched this video, you're gonna be in for quite a shocker at the end. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought, and stay tuned for more. Thank you very much, and have a good day.